Yeah, oh my gosh. So I'm a third-year PhD student at Georgia Tech. I've been at Georgia Tech since 2020. I got my undergrad here in mechanical engineering, got my master's in aerospace. Now I'm finally working on the PhD. And over the past summer, I had the amazing opportunity to be an analog astronaut with a program called Asclepios, and it was an entirely student-run analog mission. I learned a lot there, they taught me a lot, and I thought it was such a good opportunity. I really wanted to create something similar at Georgia Tech. Not only did I participate with Asclepios, other Georgia Tech students have participated with Asclepios and many other analogs, but all of these analogs Georgia Tech students participated with were in Europe. And I was like, we have so much space research at Georgia Tech. We have so much incredible talent at Georgia Tech. So many people who wanted to do this. I mean, Dr. Carr started a bioastronautics class last semester and that completely filled up. So there's this interest at Georgia Tech. And I was like, why are these students flying and spending thousands of dollars going to Europe? Then a lot of these analog missions, you have to pay to participate in them. So then they're paying for that. And then a lot of analog missions, in my personal opinion, don't emphasize students learning from them, taking them away as actual valuable experiences and using them properly as a research platform. So I was like, we can, one, do an analog here, but take the academic environment and scenario and make sure this is a place students are learning from and doing actual research. And so we have 17 research proposals for our phase 1. Our phase 2 is open. Make sure to get those proposals in, and I am just really excited to say that 6 proposals have undergrads leading those project proposals as PI. There's a whistle.
Georgia Tech is right there. I love that.
Okay, we'll pause for that. But yeah, I tried to do a little bit of undergrad research while I was at Georgia Tech, but I really felt like a lot of the times I wasn't really taking ownership of a project. I wasn't really taking the initiative of the project. And as now a third-year PhD student, I've really seen myself evolve from an undergrad, but I've seen and mentored a lot of undergrads. And I really think that good research can come from everywhere. Even if you're a first-year freshman, I really think you can come up with an idea, write a proposal, lead a project, and get published as lead author starting your freshman year. And so I also wanted to have us be a platform for those kinds of opportunities. And these aren't boring research studies. They're like super cool research studies. We're looking at how like astronauts and mission controllers actually perform. And how do people interact with a 40-minute time delay and that level of confinement and isolation and the rigidity that comes with a flight plan. Anyway, yeah, so that was a long introduction, a long part of Southeast Analog, but yeah. Yeah, so essentially an analog space mission is essentially trying to create a real human space mission like you would have on the ISS, like you would have on the moon or Mars, as similar as possible, one for one on Earth. Now, why are we doing that? Spaceflight is really, really expensive, and it's also really, really dangerous. We need to test our missions. We need to test our habitats, our equipment, our experiments on Earth before we send them to outer space. So that's the main research goal of analogs, is being able to test more experimental things on Earth, as well as test things in a more cheap environment on Earth. I also personally, and this is maybe not traditionally analogs, I think analogs are an amazing learning opportunity for students. I mean, we're gonna try and aim to have 30 student flight controllers who are going to be sitting on mission control, talking with our astronauts, using proper mission control etiquette, software, technology, and communication speak. And you really can't get that experience anywhere as a student. So if you are going and in an interview to be a flight controller, to be an operator, to work in human spaceflight, and you can say you had this experience of being a flight controller, of working on a habitat, of working on a spacesuit, you have an experience that no one else has had that you can learn from. And I think that's really important for students. So right now, Georgia Tech's our primary sponsor, about 50% of our teams at Georgia Tech, but I think that's just because of a lot of our mission has spread by word of mouth. But students from any university, even international universities, it started in the southeast of US, but anyone's allowed to join. And so if you're interested, we have a form, an interest form on our Instagram, and we go through that form about every 1 or 2 weeks. We have a completely rolling basis. So any time of the year you want to join in, we'll get you onboarded onto the team and we'll get you put to work right away. We have lots of different teams, so make sure you rank your teams. Some teams are filling up faster than others, so make sure you express interest now, and make sure that you are maybe a little bit flexible if you can't get your first choice team. But yeah, just fill out that form, and we are a student organization. We are excited to potentially partner with professionals, as well as if you're an early professional or you're in a career transition, we're happy to have you. But our goal is to primarily empower and teach students. So yeah, just fill out that form, and it's really easy to join. It's completely free. You can be from anywhere. Yeah, so lots of different organizations have their own breakdowns. There's no standard breakdown of teams across all analogs, but we've chosen a breakdown that works well for us and our team members' interests, which is, of course, we have an astronauts team. The astronauts team's job is to train, select the astronauts, and manage the entire crew. We also have a MCC team who their job is to handle mission control, all of the software and the mission control layout. We also have a logistics team, so their job is to primarily help us getting the location of where we'll actually do the mission selected, getting the location of our MCC selected, as well as establishing requirements for our mission. As well as doing a little bit of internal bonding and like friend making. We had a Martian movie night that logistics helped organize, so they're helping organize a lot of our actual events. We have a habitat and suit design team, so they're gonna look into designing and making spacesuits for us. Not actual spacesuits, but things that maybe we can test spacesuit technologies. They can be as close to spacesuits and operating them as possible, as well as our overall habitat layout and the equipment that's in there. We have our partnerships and collaborations team, so they are getting us lots of money, which something like this you might imagine can cost a good amount of money, so I'm super grateful for that team. We have our research team, so they handle all of our science projects, all of our science proposals, accepting, declining them, making sure that we are satisfying our PI's needs, making sure that anything that requires IRB approval is approved so that we're completely ethical in our mission. So that's the research team side. And then of course we have the communications team, that's you. So you're handling all of our website, our Instagram, our LinkedIn, making short videos like this one. So that's one of our amazing teams. And then we have our university leads. So we have a university chapter at Georgia Tech, but we are meeting in the next week with a bunch of other universities so they can establish university chapters at their school so that you have an in-person community who you get to meet with, who you get to work on projects with, even if you're not at Georgia Tech. Am I forgetting any? Oh, we also have a medical sub-team, so medicine is under research, so we have people making sure our astronauts are CPR and first aid trained, as well as making sure we handle the actual nutrition and medical needs of all of our crew. So that's not a team, but that's like a sub-team. Okay, so any week now we should be releasing our application for astronauts, which I know lots of people have been emailing me and been like, how do I become an astronaut? How do I go through the training? How do I live for a week and a half on Mars? So we're gonna have our actual application about that sent out very soon. And then we'll go through all of our selection process. We're expecting a lot of applications. And so we will be going through those applications and selecting down to our final crew based on how NASA and ESA select their astronaut crews. After we have our final crew, we'll train them up and we'll do our final mission. But in the meantime, people are working on mission control software. So last night we were in a 2-hour meeting going through their current software requirements and where they are right now. Research proposals are being accepted until December. So make sure you fill out a research project. Phase 1, researchers, you should be hearing back shortly to see if your projects were accepted. We'll be having a university leads chapter meeting this week, and overall, lots of fun things trying to close out this semester and get us in a good spot to do the actual building and training. Oh yeah, and did I mention this spring we're gonna have an entire gala with sponsors to fundraise, as well as an aerospace make-a-thon. So we're gonna have an entire weekend experience kicked off by a gala where we'll announce our entire crew at the gala. We'll have a big party, and then after the big party, it's gonna be working super hard and having that aerospace make-a-thon with the makerspace on campus to get projects built and done and payloads built for the actual mission. So those are our biggest upcoming events. We're gonna do trainings as well as a weekend dress rehearsal too. I think follow your passions, and if an opportunity doesn't exist, you can make it exist. I think in my undergrad, I felt like I had to be this one specific kind of way as a mechanical engineer. So I joined a bunch of car teams, but I did mechanical engineering because I wanted to do what I'm doing right now, which is habitat and suit design and human factors of space flight and mission planning. And I didn't do aerospace because I thought it was just planes and rockets, and I didn't want to work on planes and rockets, and I still don't work on planes and rockets, even though I technically have a degree in aerospace. So do what you want to do. Don't feel like you have to do the thing your major wants you to do, the thing that you're supposed to do. And if an opportunity doesn't exist, talk to people who believe in you, who will support you, and make that opportunity exist. Because if it's something you want to do, you're probably not the only one who thinks that's valuable. You know, I've had amazing professors help me and support this program, and I didn't just wait around for Georgia Tech to make a program for this. I didn't just wait for Georgia Tech to become a center of excellence for this. I talked to people who were above me and I said, hey, I'm making Georgia Tech a center of excellence for human spaceflight. So, yeah.
Well, that pretty summarizes it. It was nice meeting you with Vic.
No, it was nice talking to you. I'll see you later.
All right, bye.
Bye.